you lose 100% of the sales you don't ask for.
Yeah.
You don't get 100% of the reviews that you don't ask for.
Right.
So
it's a numbers game.
Right. So you may be a business leader or decision maker or owner, and you may never leave reviews.
Yeah.
But don't adopt that to your business.
Yeah.
To your business and your business imperatives.
Right.
You may not leave the reviews, but people are leaving reviews.
Yeah.
And your business reputation will benefit from facilitating positive reviews from your existing customers.
And you can make it a channel for your positive customers to have an impact in your business.
Right.
Where they can say, like, I feel like your company helped me so well. I want to be able to tell people
totally
what's the best way to do it. And you create that outlet for them.
Yep.
Welcome to another episode of the First Byte podcast, your guide to topics in IT, web design, and marketing. I'm Nathan Cheatham, and I'm here with Eric Burendorf. Today, we're going to talk about managing your business's online reputation.
I love this topic.
Yeah. So what does that mean? What is an online reputation, and how does that relate to your business?
Bad Google reviews.
Bad Google reviews. There's Facebook. You could have a disgruntled former employee or customer that is
rogue social account that's representing your company that you have no idea.
Right. Someone that just grabbed a, say, Twitter account with your business as the @ and maybe they snapped a picture of your front,
your logo or your shop.
Exactly. And
killing your reputation.
Yeah, they're trying to represent you in a negative light or just hijack whatever you already have created in your community.
Or a foreign bad actor who is impersonating your company, trying to get in between your brand and your customers just to exploit your customers.
Exactly.
From a cyber hacking standpoint.
Yeah. And this is something that is, in this day and age, is very real.
We see it all the time.
Yeah. The data breaches that are happening with all the, major companies out there. It's very regular, and your email for your business could be out there on the dark web or in some bad actor's hands, creates an account and is utilizing your good name.
We see this every single day. That businesses are operating, many our clients are operating their business swimming so hard upstream because they're not technological enough to understand online identities as it pertains to, well, in many cases to themselves as individuals, but definitely to the business.
Yeah.
And, a lot of businesses we see are locally run businesses, locally owned businesses that rely on a retail front end or some local reputation. Yeah, it's such a shame because we see and this pertains to bigger businesses too, for sure, that they just don't, they're just swimming against the current. And it's not about just getting new business necessarily, but the damage that a poorly run online reputation does to the business.
Right. So, on one hand, you have, if you properly do it and you're managing your reviews, your reputation, and you start seeing growth from positive Google reviews, the impact on your business becomes exponential.
Oh yeah.
But coming back from negative reviews, especially when they stack up, and let me just say, that doesn't mean that your business is poorly treating your customers.
Right.
Most of the time with unmanaged reviews with Google is a matter of you're not asking the people that had a good interaction to review you, and those people that might have had a bad interaction, and maybe it's one a year.
Yeah, we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes, and Evernet, our company, is no exception to that. So we make mistakes, and if we weren't, we have some of the most reviews in our space in comparison to our competitors because we ask for the reviews. So we after we provide service to our clients, we ask, hey, can you, and we don't ask for a 5-star. We just say, can you leave a review? Tell us how we're doing. And that helps with our reputation and let our existing and future clients kind of know what we're about, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If you have no good stars and the only people leaving reviews are people leaving bad reviews, then your reputation is not properly represented.
Yeah, because think of it from ourselves as when we're going to, go to a restaurant,
Completely.
go get our car worked on. You're going to probably Google that place and check out what other people are saying. That the rise of Yelp. That's a whole review platform right there.
Right.
And what you generally find is the people that leave the reviews the most are the negative reviews. Like, that's a trigger in your mind of, oh, I had a bad interaction.
Right.
I should tell other people so that, you kind of become vindictive and want to have an impact. The positive interaction is more personal. You're less likely to share it. Other than maybe word of mouth. Word of mouth is still a pretty big tool with
I don't know
positive.
how the pie is divided here, but people definitely, when they have a bad experience, through emotions and things, want to put that out there, right? And I think that it's we've seen it proven that a negative review can move a business to change. And so, sometimes leaving the bad review is cathartic, and also like, hey, like, we want to have a good experience when we come and get a cheeseburger at your venue or what have you. So there's a lot of reasons, I think. I don't know how the pie is divided, because I do see a lot of people enjoying leaving positive reviews. So I don't know if that matters or not.
Well, what I would say is, I think the phrasing is like, for every bad review, 10 people know about it. Every good review, 3 people know about it.
Well, when you go shopping for something and you're reviewing reviews, how do you sort your reviews?
Negative.
Exactly.
Yeah. Generally speaking, from the aspect of looking at the negatives, is I'm using it with a critical eye. Like, are these people that are just like crazies that are, just leaving a review, a bad one, just to damage, or is there really something wrong here and I should, think twice? So, but at the same time, if you don't have anything balancing out, like if all you have is 3 negative reviews over the last 5 years with no positives, then I start thinking like, all right, maybe there's some merit here. So having ownership of your Google My Business account.
So you're being very specific by saying Google My Business.
That's one of them. So like it's directory management. It's making sure that you have, because a lot of these directories where reviews are left are auto-generated by the application that is providing it. They have to have content. So they have a means of creating a profile for you without your input.
Unclaimed business, you mean?
Yeah, unclaimed
on like Google
business.
Maps or Apple Maps or Yelp or whatever.
Right. So there's a lot. I think there's one vendor we use for directory management, and there's some 200 plus.
There's a lot, yeah.
Possible profiles that your business could have that you need to claim.
Right.
And so, laying that claim so that you can at least see what's coming in is the very first step to managing this.
Okay.
And understanding like, where are you at? Like, you have to know where the playing field is.
Sure.
Are you have a lot of good reviews?
Where are your boundaries? Where are your operating boundaries?
Yeah, where are you at?
Okay.
So, first step is gaining that access. Then taking an audit of the profile. What does it look like?
Is the information accurate?
Yeah, is the information there? Do you need to add some photos so that it looks like
spruce it up a little bit?
Yeah, a live business.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's the state of the reviews?
Okay.
So once you kind of have the understanding of exactly what the profile is, then it's, what are you doing intentionally to create that positive review in your policy, your processes, in your sales?
There it is.
So think of it going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
They hand you the receipt, and at the bottom they circle it.
Every retail transaction.
Yeah.
Every single retail transaction has on the receipt a QR code or URL where you can go and feedback your experience, right?
Right.
So let me just summarize.
Yeah.
So to impact your online reputation, I think it's called claim, right? That's just a simple term. Claim your business listing in all of the, I mean, there's 200, like you said, and there are services that will claim to do it for you in bulk and things like that. And there's varying, we do this for our clients, but and we use some of the automation tools, but we also verify that they're working and things. So claim your business listings in the 200 plus registries. Of course, the big ones like it used to be called Google My Business, but I think they changed it. I don't think it's called Google My Business anymore. It's called like Google Business Listing. And you manage it now in Maps, in the Maps app.
Yeah, that was a changeover a couple years ago.
Yeah, last year I think, which is kind of bizarre to me because I really liked when it was a bespoke app because it seemed to make more sense. But anyways, so your Google Business Listing, okay. Of course, your Bing listing and your Yelp listing.
Yellow Pages,
the big ones.
Yeah.
So you claim it. Then you're saying spruce it up, right? Decorate the place.
Yeah.
Put a banner photo, put a logo there, make sure the information is accurate. Okay.
Yep.
So now that there's that, then review any existing reputation reviews that are there. They do put weight. I know Google puts a lot of weight on if you respond to reviews as the business owner. So, and it's also a good sales opportunity for it to turn a disgruntled customer or, customer, let's call them customers, into maybe into a future customer again, just by showing that, hey, we're here, we're online now, we're hearing you. Because let's face it, your customers are online. If you're not online, your customers are online. So there's that. And then the last piece that you mentioned, which is arguably, well, not arguably the most important, but because it's all important.
Yeah.
Register the business, spruce the place up, make sure you're disseminating accurate information about your business, acknowledge your previous customers that have left you positive or negative reviews. And now the last piece, which is one of my favorites, you're saying incorporate the review into your business process.
Yeah.
Which is, if you're a professional service business, if you're a retailer, it's putting a QR code on your receipt. If you're a professional services business.
So, I mean, that's at the end of your service, just providing a means, just like the receipt, you put a little code.
QR code.
But the big thing is you also need to point it out. You can put it there. There's a lot of things that are on an invoice.
Right.
And especially when you're a consumer and you've just completed the transaction, you kind of already know, like, what happened, how much you paid.
Right.
And you're grabbing that just for your records so that in, 6 months down the line, when you need to refer to what you did or what was done, you've got the documentation. But when the process of handing that over as the business owner that's completed everything, you mention like, hey,
so your business is issuing an invoice.
Yep.
Have the sales resource or the account manager, the primary point of contact that's interacting with. Again, this is for professional service businesses, right? Retail is retail.
Yeah.
So professional, when you're submitting the invoice, if it comes with a personal touch, just mention it. Say, hey, we'd really value your feedback. Follow the link.
Yeah. And you personally, as individuals, we may not do that.
Right.
I don't know. Like, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't, And if you're watching this, you might feel like, I would never do that. Like,
yeah, you lose 100% of the sales you don't ask for.
Yeah.
You don't get 100% of the reviews that you don't ask for.
Right.
So
it's a numbers game.
Right. So you may be a business leader or decision maker or owner, and you may never leave reviews.
Yeah.
But don't adopt that to your business.
Yeah.
To your business and your business imperatives.
Right.
You may not leave the reviews, but people are leaving reviews.
Yeah.
And your business reputation will benefit from facilitating positive reviews from your existing customers.
And you can make it a channel for your positive customers to have an impact in your business.
Right.
Where they can say, like, I feel like your company helped me so well. I want to be able to tell people
totally
what's the best way to do it. And you create that outlet for them.
Yep.
Online, you have many accounts that are public. Whether or not you have them, personally like secured and under control.
Talking about social media?
Social media. I'm thinking
Okay.
Facebook. And now, yeah, you might not you are so and so law firm, and maybe you don't have a Facebook, but that doesn't mean one can't be created.
Right.
And they use that name, and they don't, you don't have claim on it, so
Right.
someone else does.
I mean, there are entire communities out there of a lot of people, having a lot of real people, local to you, your neighbors, having real conversations about real things. And your point out, I think I'm pointing to the fact that you're just saying identify some of these communities
Yep.
that are reasonably approachable.
Yeah.
And then again, in similar to the directory, to the point that we made in the directory, which is claim ownership of your identity in these respective communities. So that was with the reviews. Now you're saying go to these communities, social media, and claim your identity.
Yeah, claim your identity there so that you can have the conversation. So like a review is a very good internal communication. So it's someone, a client that you've worked with, giving you feedback. So and it does share, and other people see it. But with a social media account, you can have a back and forth conversation.
It's a community.
Yeah,
it's a
show, stake your claim in your community digitally.
Right. And the benefits are twofold here, I think, right? You can moderate the conversation.
Yep.
And often, I don't know if in all venues you can do that, but you can moderate, so you can delete some people that are misbehaving on your wall. Most socials call it your wall, your comment board or whatever.
Yep.
So you can delete the nasties out there.
You can be aware of the conversation.
You can be aware of the conversation, of course, because let's face it, like it's a feedback loop.
Yep.
Right. This is ultimately a feedback loop that is important for your business, because you're in business to provide good business, and the feedback loop, lends itself to that.
And you can direct that conversation a bit. Because,
you can contribute and participate.
So let's say there's a community of your local customers, and they're talking about your business, and whether it could be good, it could be bad. If you are in that conversation, have that account available, and you're monitoring for the search terms out there, the conversations that are available.
Right.
You might hear someone, maybe they say like, why don't they have this?
Right.
And you never thought of like, oh, maybe I should be providing this.
Right.
And then you can reach out and say, well, thank you for the suggestion. We're going to start doing this.
Right.
And now you've created more customers. You've created an optimistic view of your company.
Plus, I think consumers generally it strengthens the customer relationship through engagement. I mean, people really do value. I know I do value when a big company
puts on their people hat.
Coke sells billions of bottles of Coke.
Yeah.
If I take a brand new Coke out of some vending machine and it's just flat or toxic or somehow bad, and I tweet Coke, like a picture of it, like, hey, this was my experience, and Coke DMs me and says, what's your mailing address? We're going to send you a bottle or a case of Coke.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a Coke customer for life.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. That's what we are these days. So we talking about directory.
Yep.
We're now talking about community, which is i.e. social media.
Yep.
Okay. A lot of social media managers or social media companies or products out there. How do we manage them all? How does a company manage all of their accounts?
It could be daunting. I mean, there's there's the big four, which is Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Instagram, yeah.
And each of them have different demographics, different messaging styles, different ways the content is created.
Right.
And especially if you are not a social media kind of person, or you don't have the time for it, like that can seem like a lot to do.
So I see where you're going with that. You're going to start talking about outsourcing it or having your marketing manager, but what about just like the aggregators or the social management tools? A lot of people don't know that those exist.
Yeah, well, right. So you can take advantage of just like a CRM that has this aspect, or some sort of a tool that collects all of those accounts. You just log into it.
Yeah.
And then you can simply create your post and send it out to all of them.
So let me say this: there are tools out there. There's software tools out there: Hootsuite, Zoho Social, Buffer, OnePost, I think is one. There's a bunch of them out there, and they're one software that you can log into and then register and link all of your social accounts to. So now you just log into that social media management software, and then you can see all of the threads on all of your social networks, so you can monitor the traffic, you can contribute to the conversation, that sort of thing.
And a lot of those tools will have like hashtag monitoring. You know, if it's a hashtag of like your business name or something along those lines, like you want to know. Like,
yeah, you can keep your ear to the ground to things that pertain to your brand.
Because not always do your customers tag your account. They might be talking about you, and this gets into like a little bit from marketing into like PR. Which is just like making sure that the public has a good view of you, and you're hearing the conversations that are having.
What other venues digitally online that are affecting the business reputation? We didn't even mention the website. Yeah,
I was leading into that one. We're kind of talking outward. You know, the Google reviews is kind of like what comes to mind with reputation, and then you talk about community, that's social media, but like your website is your representation that you have full control of.
It's your lobby.
Yeah, and that's where you establish credibility, accessibility, and you put your business's information there so that they can contact you or learn about you or find directions to you
or wait. I call it the lobby. It's your business lobby. I mean, do you have? Is it clean? Is it available? Is it accessible? Is the door open?
Is there one?
Does it have a directory? Does it have a receptionist? Some greeting you with a smile? Do you have? I'm being metaphorical, or I'm using an analogy, but it really is that it's that digital representation. So what is an example of what a damaging website would look like or have? I've got some, but I want to see where you...
Well, I mean, obviously outdated information.
Completely, yeah.
If you got the wrong hours on there, you got
wrong faces, wrong hours. You and I, we always have this thing with the copyright. Whenever we see like an outdated copyright on the footer.
Well, especially when you can program that.
Right.
To always be accurate. Like it's a very simple piece of code that can go in there.
Yeah.
Which just means, working with the right developer or Googling it, if you're doing your own website.
Right.
But I mean, here's one thing, like my wife was just commenting on a mobile menu we went to a local sandwich shop. And she said every time she clicked on something, there was an animation. She couldn't find the button because it kept moving.
Oh, yeah.
And so while we talk about having a good design and designing your website and all that stuff, over-designing is definitely a thing and can cause bad...
when the newsletter sign up comes on over the whole page when I'm on mobile, I don't care how important you think you are. I'm out of there. I don't care if I'm booking a dentist appointment for my child. Like, I'm just not doing this.
Yeah, right. So, being in line with the norms of
good experience, good accessibility. And accessibility, we can talk about ADA accessible websites if you want to, but accessibility doesn't mean just ADA and having alt tags properly. That's technical. So, people.
Well, accessible meaning that you don't look like.
And then I was going to say that.
Yeah. So think of going to a government website and being like, I was recently doing some tax forms, trying to find information on. Form this and form that and schedule this, and going to the IRS site, and it's like you've got just like 100 links down the side of varying degrees of description. You've got just a massive wall of text that is like reading an encyclopedia.
Right.
Like accessibility is also just being able to find what you're looking for.
Right. So coming back to reputation, because we can talk about web design. You and I will talk about web design all the time, but just to keep this in the realm of reputation, It is negatively impactful to your reputation if your website's not usable, if it's out of date. I'm going to add if it's insecure.
Yeah.
Google, I remember when Google went to I don't know how technical I want to get here, but basically everybody here should know that if you get to a web page and you don't see the padlock in the address bar or near, every browser kind of identifies a secure website properly.
Yep.
That just means that your transaction or time on that website is encrypted between you and that site owner, meaning, the whole talk I'm using VPNs on public Wi-Fi, the web used to be unencrypted. So it used to be HTTP :/ your website. And that was unencrypted plain text. So anybody sitting on your network could sniff your packets and literally watch your web activity on the website. HTTPS encrypts your time on the website. So of course your banks better be encrypted.
Yeah.
Your email better be your webmail page better be encrypted. Dentist booking appointments your dentist should be encrypted. Your PCP, your primary care provider, should be, all of those should be encrypted. If I am going to my attorney's website to pay a bill, and they happen to have a client portal, follow me. Make sure you check out my webinar that I'm having with Carrot about client portals. But if I'm going to my attorney's website to pay a bill, and their main website, I just landed on their website, is not encrypted, that is reputation damaging, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If I land on the main page, even though that landing is not the sensitive information, if my time with the company is not respected and encrypted, then
it's a detail. It's like,
it's a blemish.
Devil's in the details.
Devil's in the details.
So it's like, okay, if they can't handle this,
because there's no reason to not.
Right. It's free.
It's free. It's
easy to implement.
Has no performance implications. It's easy to implement. It's almost de facto now. So that's kind of what I was pointing to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ensuring that, like, just from the detail level, that your website is sufficient, so that there's no question.
Right.
Because if it's not, and people have question about what's going on here, they're questioning you, and that's your reputation.
Right. So you're in your so coming back to your reputation, how you can impart positive impact, accurate information on your website, an encrypted website, a properly managed website, an updated copyright footer, usable, making sure that it's not embarrassing to use. I mean, not even ADA aside, because you should have an ADA compliant website, but the usability in the context of, like, just can your customer use your website without being alienated? So that's all in the context of reputation.
There are ways that you can manage your reputation as far as, like, your outbound communication, which is like your email.
Yeah. Good.
How are you making sure that you're engaging, communicating with your clients? Which then kind of comes into all three aspects of, email, the social media. What posts are you putting out there?
Right.
What's the quality of those posts?
Right.
Because, like, when I go and I'm looking for, like, a contractor or someone, and they have a social media account, but they kind of use it like their own personal account.
Yeah. No.
It's like,
well, it just
start to see, like,
it telegraphs kind of what the professional level of the business is when you do that.
Yeah. So those are some management tactics.
Using a Gmail account for your business email.
Yeah. Do you have your own domain?
Yeah, most of our clients are. Most of the clients that we're speaking to are nowhere near that, but that's certainly the small business realm. If your email server is not properly configured, and by extension your public DNS, so you register a domain name for your business, your website, you use it for your email. If your DNS and email DNS is not properly configured, third-party hackers and spammers can more easily impersonate your email. So I can't tell you how many times we get calls and emails from a client saying, one of my clients just sent me a copy of some, horrific email, and it looks like it came from me. Make it stop. And I say, well, there are things that we can do and we already do for our clients to mitigate that to the maximum degree.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you have those things in place. Ultimately, email is very easy to spam or spoof.
Spoof, yeah.
But if you don't do the easy ones, that's...
Well, and it's also your use of that. So think of it, I've got an aunt who's on Facebook, and she constantly has to put out a post. My Facebook got hacked. And don't,
Sorry, Aunt Chippy.
don't pay any attention to that DM that got sent to you.
Right.
Which,
I saw one of those this weekend.
Yeah, when you go to it, it's like, hey, I need, a $30 iTunes card. Can you mail it to me at this weird address? That happens. Like, if you input your email, your business email, into the wrong email box, you're surfing the wrong websites, and now you've just created a target for you
right
to get spoofed. But this all comes down to, what is the messaging you're putting out from online? How are you managing the reputation that's already there,
right,
and the accounts that should be created? Do you need more information? Do you want to have a conversation with one of us about your business, where you're at? And you can go to evernetco.com and schedule a discovery call.
Yep.
We give an hour of our time.
Yeah,
Eric or myself.
Let's backpedal first real quick. So you're either running this in-house or you're outsourcing it. So, and if you're running it in-house, you can always, we're building a managed marketing model.
Yep.
So if just like if you watch any of our videos on the co-managed IT support model that we have, we're kind of we're building that to to our marketing line of business. So if you're running it internally or have a team internally, you can bring in an outsourced provider like us to co-manage your digital presence and digital marketing with you. So we can do it all. We can do some of it, right?
Yeah.
That's the message I wanted to say there.
Yeah, go to evernetco.com and schedule a discovery call. And, we have a soft sales approach. We're not trying to, hard sell you. But if you just need information, you just want to get our point of view after watching this video and seeing,
Nathan, you spend, so on the marketing stuff, you take the discovery calls. On the IT house, I take the discovery calls.
Right.
If you have any questions about managing or registering your social media accounts, if you have any questions about any the directory listings, how to gain control of that, what tools we use, what tools you can use, what Nathan will talk about all of that. And then of course, if you want to talk about how we can do it with you and or for you, we'll also talk about that. We are, I don't know at the time of this publishing, it will be up yet, but we are always working on our pricing page. And if it's not up yet, we have a forthcoming whole marketing line of business pricing page coming out that's going to be very transparent in the services and engagement models available to everybody out there.
Yeah, and to get to that for our pricing, evernetco.com/pricing.
Right.
We'll get you there. And engage with us. You're here, you're watching. If you gained anything from this as far as some knowledge and you want to go further with it, talk to us. We're available. So,
sounds good.
Thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, follow us on social. We're at EvernetCO, I think, on every social channel.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, the YouTube.
YouTube now has custom handles now.
Right. And, we were just talking about managing all those so that you can see how we did it, where it's very easy for someone to find us. And visit our website, evernetco.com.
Perfect. Thanks, Nathan.
Yep.